NHL weirdest moments have thrown things on the ice. Fans have thrown objects onto the ice during games many times in NHL history. Here are some weirdest moments. 1. Octopus. Throwing an octopus onto the ice during Detroit Red Wings playoff games is one of the most well-known traditions in the NHL. When two Detroit brothers threw an octopus onto the ice during a playoff game in 1952 to symbolize the 8 victories required to win the Stanley Cup, the custom was born. That year, the Red Wings went on to win the Cup, and the custom has persisted ever since. 2. Rats. The Florida Panthers made an unexpected run to the Stanley Cup Finals in the 1995-96 NHL season in response to a story about Panthers forward Scott Mellanby killing a rat in the team's locker room before a game. Fans in Florida began tossing plastic rats on the ice after every Panthers goal. The custom became popular, and even rival teams complained about the delays in games brought on by the removal of the rats. 3. Snakes. In 1999, a fan threw a live rattlesnake onto the ice during a playoff game between the Phoenix Coyotes and the St. Louis Blues. Both teams' players were understandably terrified, and the game was postponed while authorities tried to catch the snake. 4. Waffles. Angry Toronto Maple Leafs supporters began hurling waffles onto the ice during games in the 2010-11 season. The custom began when the Leafs had a run of disappointing games, and fans used the waffles as a symbol of their displeasure with the team's performance. The waffles were so common that the Maple Leafs organization had to ask supporters to stop in a statement. 5. Jerseys. As a form of protest, there have been numerous occasions when fans have thrown the jerseys of their own team onto the ice during contests. Over the years, this has occurred in a number of NHL cities, and it typically denotes a level of dissatisfaction with the team's performance. 6. Hamburger. During a playoff game between the Boston Bruins and the Quebec Nordiques in 1982, a spectator threw a hamburger onto the ice to protest a decision made by the officials. The fan was removed from the arena, and the game was postponed while the burger was cleaned up. 7. Salmon. In 2014, a salmon was thrown onto the ice during a playoff game between the Los Angeles Kings and the Vancouver Canucks. The salmon had a message about the team's poor performance written on it and was covered in a Canucks jersey. The spectator was promptly ejected from the venue. 8. Tennis balls. Tennis balls were thrown on the ice during a 1997 game between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Ottawa Senators by Flyers supporters in protest of the league's decision to permit the Senators to reschedule a game due to a blizzard. The tennis balls delayed the game, and the league fined the Flyers as a result. 9. Money. In 1989, a fan threw some coins onto the ice during a game between the Calgary Flames and the Hartford Whalers. The coins slowed down the game, and the fan was taken into custody and accused of malicious mischief. 10. Beer. In 2004, a fan threw a beer on the ice during a game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins in protest of a call made by the referees. As soon as the beer touched down close to Bruins defenseman Hal Gill, the fan was ejected from the stadium. In a 2011 game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins, a fan threw a full beer can onto the ice after the Bruins scored a goal. The can narrowly missed a linesman, and the fan was later charged with mischief. 11. Cell phone. After the Vancouver Canucks scored a goal in a 2016 game against the Arizona Coyotes, a fan threw a cell phone onto the ice. The fan's friend, who had dared him to toss the phone if the Canucks scored, owned it. The spectator was removed from the area and accused of vandalism. 12. Teddy bears. During games during the holiday season, supporters in a number of NHL locales have established the custom of tossing teddy bears onto the ice. The stuffed animals are then gathered and given to organizations that support underprivileged kids. This custom has gained popularity, particularly in Calgary, where spectators have been known to launch countless bears onto the ice during matches. Certain NHL teams perform a teddy bear toss during the holiday season, where fans are invited to bring stuffed animals to the game to give to charity. Following the first goal scored by the home team in a 2016 game between the Calgary Hitmen and the Medicine Hat Tigers, Hitmen supporters hurled over 28,000 teddy bears onto the ice. 13. Shoes. During an Edmonton Oilers vs. Vancouver Canucks game in 1999, a spectator tossed a shoe onto the ice to protest a decision made by the officials. The fan was removed from the arena after the game was delayed due to the sneaker. 14. Light up wristbands. During an Anaheim Ducks vs. Dallas Stars playoff game in 2014, the Ducks organization distributed light-up bracelets to all in attendance. After the home team scored a goal during the game, Ducks supporters began tossing the wristbands onto the ice in celebration. While the bracelets were being cleaned up, the game was postponed for a bit, and the Ducks organization made a statement pleading with fans not to toss the wristbands. 15. Catfish. In a nod to the Detroit Red Wings octopus custom, a fan threw a catfish onto the ice during a Nashville Predators and Winnipeg Jets playoff game in 2018. PK Subban, a Predators defenseman, picked up the catfish and flung it off the ice personally when it landed close to him. The fan was removed from the venue and afterwards accused of unruly behavior. 16. Golf balls. During a 1996 hockey match between the San Jose Sharks and the Detroit Red Wings, Sharks supporters began tossing golf balls onto the ice in protest at a decision made by the referees. Due to the delay in play brought on by the golf balls, the league penalized the Sharks. 17. Popcorn. During a 2013 game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres, a spectator threw a canister of popcorn onto the ice to express their displeasure with a call made by the officials. The spectator was dismissed from the arena after the popcorn fell close to Ryan Miller, the goaltender for the Sabres. 18. Snowballs. In 1995, during a game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres, Canadian supporters began tossing snowballs onto the ice in protest of a decision made by the referees. The Canadiens were penalized by the league because the snowballs delayed the game. 19. Towels. Many NHL teams hand out towels to spectators to wave during games during the playoffs. In 2011, Vancouver Canucks supporters began tossing their towels onto the ice during a playoff game between their team and the Chicago Blackhawks in protest of a decision made by the officials. 20. Caps. Following a hat trick by Washington Capitals forward Alex Ovechkin in a 2017 game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, Capitals supporters began tossing their hats onto the rink. As the hats were being cleaned, the game was postponed. 21. Water bottles. In 2016, Calgary Flames forward Matthew Tkachuk tossed a water bottle onto the ice during a game between the Calgary Flames and the Vancouver Canucks to protest a call made by the referees. Tkachuk was dismissed from the contest and later hit with a league fine. 22. Pillow. In 2003, a fan tossed a pillow onto the ice during a game between the Detroit Red Wings and the Colorado Avalanche to protest a decision made by the referees. The fan was removed from the arena after the game was delayed due to the pillow. 23. Chicken. During a Nashville Predators vs. Detroit Red Wings game in 2002, a fan tossed an entire uncooked chicken onto the ice. The fan was eventually charged with disorderly behavior when the chicken disrupted the game. 24. Cans. During a 1996 game between the Vancouver Canucks and the Detroit Red Wings, Canucks supporters began hurling cans onto the ice in protest over a decision made by the referees. The Canucks were punished by the league because the cans delayed the game. 25. Pizza. Following a hat trick by Boston Bruins forward Brad Marchand in a 2017 game against the Nashville Predators, Bruins supporters began tossing pizza onto the ice. The Bruins organization later apologized to the NHL for the delay in play brought on by the pizza. 26. Wig. Following a Pittsburgh Penguins goal in a 2014 game against the New York Rangers, a fan threw a wig onto the ice. Although it delayed the game, the wig was eventually taken off the ice. 27. Headphones. Following a contentious goal by the Vegas Golden Knights in a 2018 game between the Boston Bruins and the Golden Knights, a fan tossed a set of headphones onto the ice. The game was delayed while the headphones were being removed from the ice. 28. Coins. Coins were thrown onto the ice by Buffalo Sabres supporters during a 2017 NHL game between their team and the Detroit Red Wings in protest of a call made by the officials. The coins slowed down the game, and the league penalized the Sabres. Hope you liked the video. Keep checking back for more videos. Thank you.